My book is currently at 1,200 BSR, selling about 70 to 80 copies a day. And you want to know the secret? It's actually a seasonal book. If you think evergreen books are the only way to make recurring income on Amazon KDP, well then, think again. So guys, in this short video, I'm going to teach you why seasonal books are Amazon's actually best kept secret and why they're one of the better options for beginners in case they are taking this business seriously. So let's tackle these two assumptions. First, the fact that seasonal books can't be a recurring income. For this, I'm going to show you the sales history of the book that I'm showing you, which has 1,200 BSR at the moment. And if you look closely here, you can see that the year I published it back in 2022, it actually made me $5,000. And the year after that, it made me $4,466, with 30% of this going to actual ad spend. Either way, it's a pretty good margin that I'm getting. And this is something that I've seen in 2 years consecutively. And guess what? This year is going to be the same. And I think that the income I'm going to get is actually going to be much higher than previous years because this year, this book has over 140 reviews, whereas in the previous years, it only had about 40 or 50. So yes, seasonal books can be recurring income because the same amount of money this book is making me per year is actually more than a normal journal would make me per month if you were to add up all the months in a year. And this is not the only case. If we look at other books from the competition, like this one, for instance, this one's called Christmas Stories for Kids 8 to 12. If we look at the revenue, this book's sales has been going up like crazy in the last 30 days. And mind you, we're still in November. It's November 8th as I'm recording this video, and the book is already moving to 20 sales a day. Now, if we look at all time, by the end of November last year, this book was selling about 90 copies a day. And in 2023, it was doing about 100 copies a day. Guess what, guys? That's probably going to do the same thing this year. And I just want you to look at what we're competing with. So one of the ways that I try to assess competition is by looking at their interiors and asking myself if I can genuinely compete with this kind of interior. Now, considering this is a book for kids, the illustrations are black and white. They're not that great. It has too much text, in my opinion. And anyone, even a complete beginner, can create a better minimum viable book than this one. And trust me, guys, getting 120 reviews is not that hard. So objectively, competing with a book like this is not impossible. It just requires some work. Anyways, that's me busting myth number one. The fact that seasonal books can be recurring income. And they can be a powerful asset if you're able to time it correctly. Now, here's something else most people don't know. Seasonal books are actually a great way to learn advanced KDP strategies. Let me tell you why. So when you're first starting out in Amazon KDP, you don't have a good idea of what a good keyword looks like. Your first keyword is probably not that good. You're having a very hard time ranking for that keyword. And you don't know what to do with your ads because sometimes they don't even activate at all, or you're barely getting any impressions. Now, when you publish in a seasonal niche, and you will know what it's like to push your ad spend so you can rank in SEO for your best keywords, and you can rank in related products as well. So publishing seasonal books actually compresses the amount of time in which you can get proficient at running ads and at getting good at ranking. So far, I've spent over $170,000 on ads on Amazon KDP. And I gotta say that it's thanks to my experience in seasonal books that I was able to manage that ad spend so good. And it's thanks to that experience also that other people usually contact me to run their ads because they trust in my judgment, especially during Q4 or high demand season. So yeah, definitely, if you're just a beginner starting out, try a seasonal book. Maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised. Anyways, by now you're probably thinking, okay, I want to try one of these. How can I get started? All right, so let me give you first a free option and then a paid option. Now, if you're using the free method, what I would recommend is looking up any seasonal keyword. For instance, we can look up Hanukkah books for kids, and you usually want to do this research at least 2 months prior to the festivity, right? And what you're going to want to do is actually filter by publication date. And now that it's filtered, you want to see what kind of book is being published. And if you find any books that have been recently published, they actually have a BSR and they're actually selling, even though the festivity is 2 months away, then that means you're probably finding a good niche. So here I found this Would You Rather Hanukkah edition, something I would have never thought of, and it's making 69 sales a month, although we're still like around 2 months away from this. All right, so once you find a book like this, what you want to do is you want to take the main keyword of the book. In this case, it's probably Hanukkah jokes for kids or just Hanukkah jokes. And you want to start looking for books that have some longevity to them. For instance, this one here I'm going to open up. Maybe going to open up this one as well. And after that, I'm going to check out their historical VSR. Now, there are some free Chrome extensions that allow you to do this, like Helium 10's free Chrome extension. I'm going to leave a link down below so you can get it because it's actually so good. We're going to click on the graph here and we want to look at the BSR, but the old-time BSR. And we want to see at its peak what this book was selling. In this case, back in 2022, this book was ranked at 12K BSR, which is great. And last year, it went up to 11,000 to 7,000 BSR, which is actually very good as well. So now we have validation that if we create a book like this, maybe get it to 50 reviews, we're gonna be able to get some good money out of it if we publish in time and we rank and do some Amazon ads as well. So that would be the free method. Let me show you the paid method, which I actually recommend much more. Well, a combination of both is what I recommend, but paid methods are usually much better, and I recommend them especially if you're taking this business seriously. So for this, we're gonna go to Helium 10. And by the way, guys, Helium 10 is just amazing. It's one of the best kept secrets in the publishing world. If you haven't gotten it yet, I'm gonna leave a link down below where you can get it with a 10% discount. It's an affiliate link, so if you sign up, it would actually help support this channel. Anyways, once we are here, we're gonna go to Magnet, and inside Magnet, we can type in a short tail keyword related to seasonality. So for instance, we can do maybe a keyword like stocking stuffers, then click on get keywords and run a new search. Now what this will do is pull up hundreds if not thousands of related keywords to this, but I actually don't want them all. So what we can do is just type in stocking stuffers in phrases containing, and that will limit the keywords only to those containing the phrase stocking stuffers inside. Then what we can do is sort by search volume, and what you're going to want to do next is look at every single keyword and look at their historical search volume, because this keyword sales is probably not going to be the best, since the keyword sales are going to tell you what's selling right now. But if you look at the search volume, you can see the difference in potential growth of that keyword, comparing it to the growth that it had last year. So for instance, stocking stuffers for women goes all the way up to 1 million searches in one single month, and right now it's around 143,000. So it's definitely going to go up a lot. And the funny thing about this keyword, and this keyword also for kids and for teens, etc., is that you can actually rank books under this keyword. Like if you look it up, paste it here in Amazon, you will find here that even though we're competing now in the world of physical products, some books actually can appear in this listing. For instance, we have here a Mad Libs book. If you go further down, we find one on how to draw all the animals for kids. And if we sort by books, we can get a peek of what are the books that are going to sell the most this holiday season, because you can actually also run ads to keywords like this. And let me give you a pro tip. A few years ago, I had one of my students tell me that something crazy happened. They had just hit the top 5 of all of Amazon Spain. And I was very surprised. I'm like, wow, you did this in March. That's crazy, you know? Usually March is a month where you're not getting that many sales. But she tells me that in Spain, they celebrate Father's Day in March, in contrast to pretty much the rest of the world. She had actually published a Father's Day book late January, and it happened to take off. She got a few reviews for it, activated a few ads, and before she knew it, that book was in the top 5 of all Amazon Spain. So what I would recommend here is that you research non-traditional holidays, international events, or simply how they celebrate holidays in other countries, because that can also be a very good strategy for you. Anyway, here's the game plan you have to follow to make sure you apply this information correctly. Let's start with timing. To be able to do this correctly, I recommend looking up your keywords and doing this whole validation process about 3 months before the festivity. You're gonna give yourself a month to create the book, but also gather about 50 reviews so that when you publish it, you're able to get 50 reviews in the first week or 2. After that, once you're about 8 weeks before the festivity, you wanna start running ads to your book. You wanna leave your book at a lower price, maybe around $5.99 or maybe $6.99, so you're still able to make some royalties out of the sales of your book and get back the money you're spending in ads. It's okay if you don't profit at all during this period, because all we're looking to do for about a month before the festivity is to rank for the main keywords. Now, once we're 4 weeks close to the festivity, or maybe 21 days, that's when you want to raise the price to something that's a bit above average, maybe $8.99, maybe $9.99, maybe $11.99, or maybe $14.99, and you want to keep running ads to your book. By then, your ads should be at break even, and all the organic sales that you get those 3 weeks or those 4 weeks should all be complete profit for you. And that's where you make money on seasonal books. I hope you like that recipe. It took me many trials and errors to get it. I hope you apply it and then it makes you money as it has made me. So let me know, guys. Have you ever published a seasonal book, or have you found success with one? I wanna read you in the comments below. If you have a question, let me know. I'll help you strategize. Lastly, if this book opened your eyes to what's possible in Amazon KDP, like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, we're creating the first $2 cutting edge KDP mastermind that's ever existed. If you want to be part of the waitlist for it, then just put your details in the link below. And I'm also opening up spots for my ARC team. This way, you can get an advanced reader copy of my future books. And if you enjoy them, you can leave a review. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to keep learning more about Amazon KDP, I recommend you watch the next video.